Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. Good morning. Welcome. This is Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene. And along with me is the man with the buys, the man with the tries, the man with the broad chest, the one and only John Borba.
Yo.
JB, welcome, brother. Good morning.
What's going on?
Bro, last night, JB, we got to talk about these late games, these late events. If you go back to the weekend, that Crawford Canelo fight, we didn't talk about it yesterday. We won't talk about it too long. It was a solid fight, cool, nice action. The stadium itself was awesome. The crowd was engaged. It kind of hyped me up for the fight. But bro, these late events are killing me. I mean, that Canelo fight, I was dragging to make it to the walk. I mean, my sister even asked me, she's like, about how much longer? And this is before the walkouts even happen. I'm like, yo, we still have both walkouts and the national anthems. But I remember Dana White was the one promoting it. And if you notice, there was no national anthems because in the UFC, they actually don't play the national anthems for the main events. Boxing is kind of the reason why a lot of things get extended. I personally like when they do the national anthem. It's always nice to hear ours. It's just nice, loud, and proud. But yeah, what an event this weekend. But last night, bro, I was able to watch the Bucks game. That was a hell of a barn burner, right? Baker Mayfield driving down to win that game for the Bucks. A little risque there at the end, not calling a timeout, even though they had two. Just kind of running down the clock. It seems like they never lost confidence. They always kind of knew the way that was going to play out.
Yeah.
I love the way it played out. But then that Chargers-Raiders game started. I'm not going to lie. I made it to about halftime. Honestly, I don't even remember making it to halftime. That's how I just crashed out with TV on and everything.
I can feel
I wake up. Yeah, wake up middle of the night, turn off my TV. I'm like, shit, I guess I'm going to have to watch the highlights. So I did watch the highlights, JB. But if you just want to recap us on that Buccaneers game, Baker Mayfield driving down, what'd you get out of that game?
Well, I mean, fourth quarter comes around. If Baker Mayfield's got an opportunity to win the game, he's going to put that team on his back. You saw some like great extended plays from Baker. Fourth down, huge conversion on his feet, stays up in the pocket, able to escape, gets the first down. I mean, dude, Baker's one of those guys that you just get hyped watching at this point. Houston's defense was coming after him in that fourth quarter. Danielle Hunter, Willie Anderson, all those guys, dude, they were after Baker with like a purpose, man, and he was fighting. He broke another before that fourth down extension that he got the first down with his legs. Broke another play, got like 13, 14 yards, rolled his ankle a little bit, man, started talking trash to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Like he just gets you hyped, man. And I think this is the year where we actually saw both of these quarterbacks last night, but I think this is the year where we see Baker possibly get into that elite status where he's going to start winning these close games as we saw last night. He won this game. Years back, even up to last year, he was losing games like this. Justin Herbert, same sort of deal, but what Baker's doing and his connection with Emeka Egbuka, he could have won. I mean, they had a huge connection where he rolled out to the right, threw it on a corner route to Egbuka, and unfortunately it got broken up. But I mean, they're going to have such a good connection this year. Egbuka is looking like the rookie of the year right now after 2 weeks. He's got 3 touchdown catches. He had one last night, but Baker is to that point of his career where I think he takes this next leap where he can, if he keeps chucking out wins like this, I think he's going to be close to the elite status. Of course, you got the top 4 guys in the league, and then it's kind of wishy-washy after that, but I think he works his way up into the top 6, top 8 quarterback discussion if he can keep it up. Now, talking about, we kind of get into that game. And also that Bucs final drive, great clock management. I love the fact that You have all timeouts. You call one after you pick up a big gain. You have 2 timeouts left. I think you're inside the 10-yard line. You're letting the clock run down under 20 seconds. I'm like, okay. At first, I was like, timeout, and I was like, no. Let's run a play. You have 10 seconds left and 2 timeouts. So the whole entire playbook is open, and you're at the 2-yard line. Great execution, great way to hold on to your timeouts, great clock management. I think that's what you want. That's exactly what you want, because you got to realize each play is going to take about 5-6 seconds. So 10 seconds, you're at the 2-yard line, you got 2 timeouts. You're able to call a timeout because you had a little bit of confusion. The play clock's running low. So you have that flexibility. I think they did a great job with play clock. And that's what happens when you have a veteran quarterback who can kind of handle the pocket, handle the
Yep.
2-minute strip like that. So well played by the Bucks. We'll get into the Chargers and the Raiders game. I mean, that one's
Yeah. Well, JB, real quick before you move on, what's kind of awesome about Baker. If we remember back in Cleveland, there were stories that started to spin about him and OBJ, Baker Mayfield being a locker room issue. Uh, Bucky Irving went on the Emmanuel Acho show with him and Shady McCoy, and this is his quote. This is what he said. He's the type of quarterback I'll take in a dark alley with me because I know he's going to come out shooting. I mean, that statement alone just goes to the type of dog that we have in Baker Mayfield. And yesterday, whenever he scrambles out to get that first down, that's the type of guy. Like, bro, at some point, like you know how you always hear like hard work will always outdo talent.
yeah.
If talent don't work hard, hard work will outdo talent, or somewhere along those lines. That's exactly what you see in Baker Mayfield. And that play alone yesterday, where he's scrambling out, gets the first down, and still takes a massive lick, gets flipped over, comes up, hyped up as ever, bro. That's the kind of crap that I love. And I remember at one point I was on the wrong end of this, so I would like to apologize. Although Baker Mayfield may never see this ever in his life, but Baker, I am sorry. There was a time in my life where I had a moment of silence for your career, and maybe that was the turning point. Maybe that's when the resurgence happened, But maybe we're part of his turnaround in his career. I'm gonna give myself credit and say that the moment that we put that clip out on YouTube, that we had a moment of silence for the past of Baker Mayfield's career. And now we resurged his career into what it is now. As SOL, we'll take credit for that, JB. So shout out to us for resurging Baker Mayfield's career. What a dog, bro. His teammates are behind him. I love it. I love the way this Buccaneers team is moving. They are in an easier division, so it seems like they are heading straight to the playoffs. And then it's all about dancing, baby. Once you get there, it's all about dancing. It's a little bit of luck and a little bit of talent. So let's see how that goes. But go ahead and let's go on to that Chargers Raiders game.
Yeah. So first thing that pops out, Justin Herbert played pretty good all night. Had a good running game to mix in with that. Man, another thing to talk about with Justin Herbert's development, how this might be a breakout year. It might be a breakout year for Quentin Johnston. Had a rough, slow start to his career. I think he's coming on now. He scored another big touchdown. He's turning into a big playmaker, and now Keenan Allen's career is resurgent. It looks like he is going to be a problem this year. They got a 3-headed monster at wide receiver in LA with the Chargers. So Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen, man, looks good as ever. Quentin Johnston's coming along. They're scary. And then, of course, Marion Hampton in the backfield. He looks solid. There was a couple of miscues late in the game. I didn't like that, how we had some turnovers. We had some a couple loose balls that were fumbles that the Chargers luckily, bounced on. But overall, Chargers look like a top 5 team, I would say. If we had our power rankings, I would put the Chargers in the top 5 right now.
Top five.
As far as the Raiders, looked pretty good. There's one player that didn't look good, which was Geno Smith. He had a few turnovers last night.
Three to be exact.
Yeah, 3 turnovers, man. And he could be the reason that we're not talking about the Raiders today. So I think it's more to say about the Chargers defense, man. The Chargers defense is solid as well, and they're going to give quarterbacks some issues. So as far as the Raiders, I wouldn't panic yet. You're 1-1. I mean, you played a respectable game. A few reasons why you lost that. I mean, Geno Smith looked a little rough, but I think you can come back and still, you know, still have a good
Yeah,
season for
and
sure.
on the bright side for the Raiders, you have a wounded Bengals team this weekend, so that's helpful to bounce back. With Geno Smith, Buddy can't throw 43 times. 24 for 43, three interceptions. But we can't have Geno Smith throwing 43 times. That's not who he is. I'm not sure what happened there. Like I said, I didn't watch that second half. I just watched the highlights, so I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about here. But I did from the Raiders. There's just looking at the stat line. There's no way we could throw. There's no way Geno could throw 43 times and then
No,
me expect
not
them
a
to
recipe
win.
for success.
JB, one thing that I did see on the highlights is it seems like Keenan Allen has found that young burst of energy. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know if we would have expected this. I don't know that he ever even really fell off. I mean, he went to Chicago, but we're kind of seeing the disaster that Chicago is. So maybe Keenan Allen is one of those nuggies that the Chargers just snuck back in at home, and now we're seeing the roots or the fruits of that labor of Keenan Allen. I mean, what are your
yeah.
expectations for him this year?
Man, I think he's going to have a great season. He's going to be in the game plan every week, and this is a guy that you can move around. I mean, it's scary because you have two other receivers that you can now rely on with Ladd and Quentin Johnson. I think he's going to have productivity from the slot, from the outside. The way that they're using him, they're not going to overuse him. Because you do have those two other studs at receiver. So I think it's a bounce back career. I think he might get 1,000 yards this year at least. I mean, we're looking at 1,000 yards, maybe 7, 8 touchdowns from him. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for Keenan Allen, and I think I don't think he's fallen off at all. I think last year, obviously in Chicago, it was kind of a dumpster fire. But
Yep, yep.
I now with a structured offense. Justin Herbert getting the ball out quick. The O line, even without Rashawn Slater, is actually playing pretty solid. They went up against Max Crosby last night. I mean, you didn't hear too much out of Max
Look good.
Crosby last night.
Look good.
One of the best defensive ends in the league, and we just Justin Herbert stayed upright. He was mobile. He was finding his guys downfield. Got rid of the ball quickly. I think you saw everything that you needed to see. From Keenan Allen, from Justin Herbert, and that offense. So I think Keenan Allen, man,
Yeah.
sky's the limit this year.
After week one, you said coaching. We're seeing the difference in coaching and how coaching elevates these players, and I think that's what we're seeing. We have to give John Harbaugh his respect. Uh, Yeah, what a dog, bro. This guy's bringing out something that we haven't seen from the Chargers. The Chargers, to me, have always kind of been a finesse team, and
Yeah.
and now we're seeing the dog mentality slowly but surely come out of them boys. So
Yep.
shout out to the Chargers going 2-0, beating. I mean, they beat the Chiefs in week one. What are the Chiefs? I don't know. The first time they've been 0-2. Let's go ahead and transition to that. Or JB, actually, before we transition into the Chiefs, let's just talk about a couple injuries that we've been informed on. Starting with Joe Burrow yesterday, breaking news yesterday: the turf toe, grade 3, it's going to require surgery, unfortunately. So he's going to be out at least 3 months. Brock Purdy yesterday was reporting he's going to be out 2 to 5 weeks. So Mac Jones is still going to be starting. Another toe injury was for him. And then the one that surprised me was Jaden Daniels with the sprained knee during the week 2 loss to the Green Bay Packers. They Adam Schefter said it's not that serious, but he's questionable for this weekend. And Dan Quinn came out and said that they are going to make a decision by Friday. So for fantasy owners like myself who have Jaden Daniels, we're not going to get an answer on Jaden Daniels until Friday. And even then, I don't know that you start him I don't know that a sprained ankle is anything to play with. I would assume that even if he goes out there, obviously he's not going to be 100%. So you kind of run the risk that they play extremely conservative. JB, are you sitting Jaden Daniels if you have him on your team? And let's just say you have Matthew Stafford on the bench, and I mean, the looks of it is they're playing the Raiders. My apologies. I said that the Bengals were playing the Raiders, but it's actually the Commanders that are playing the Raiders. So how do you feel about the Commanders at home against the Raiders? Jaden Daniels. Should we
Well,
start him at? if you have him as a quarterback?
If he's active and ready to go, then yes, I think it's one of those things where it might even be. You never know. If they come out, if they don't come out with nothing on Friday, keep an eye on it for Sunday morning. That's when you'll get an answer to see if he's going to start or not. So I think if he's starting, I think you start him 100%. He might not be 100%, but I think he's still the valuable option
Yeah.
when it comes to quarterback, because I mean that's a guy that you got to ride out. So I think you go ahead and you keep starting, keep him in your starting lineup. He might not be at 100%, but I think that's your best option, unless you just got a favorable matchup as your with your second QB that you got on your bench. But yeah, I think you keep him in the starting lineup for sure.
And then the biggest one, JB, this one's unfortunate. I hear it in your voice. It actually makes me sad. As a friend, it makes me sad for you. ESPN Adam Schefter reported Vikings quarterback JJ McCarthy is expected to be sidelined 2 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. With McCarthy out, Vikings quarterback Carson Wentz will get the start. I I mean, what's your first reaction to just seeing the news of him getting hurt? Because I mean, I don't know that they said it on the broadcast. And then if you just let us know what your
Well,
anticipation is for Carson Wentz, the guy, he's been a part of 6 different teams. JB
yeah.
um, hasn't found too much success since 2017 when he almost had that MVP season. But now he's leading the helm with a hell of an OC. What are your expectations here?
Well, if you look at this, it could just be awful news. I could be in the dumps, but here's my thing. I'm going to take it. I'm going to be optimistic here. I
Okay.
think with the way, okay, so you saw him. There was a clip that showed during the game where he was getting his ankle wrapped and he still played the game out, fully played the game out. I think this is more of a JJ McCarthy. Okay, we need to sit you. This is a nice way of putting it to where the headlines aren't going to read, "Oh, McCarthy a bust. We're sitting him all this stuff." Okay, I think he does have a legit injury. I think he's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks. But I think this is very strategic and very smart by the Minnesota Vikings, because right now during that game, Ryan Kelly, starting center, concussion out. Right tackle Brian O'Neill, um, concussion. He was out, played very poorly as well. Left tackle, School, the new guy, the taking over Darisal's spot right now while Darasal comes back. Awful. I mean, the guy can't even. He's a rotating front door. He's the Farley's front door right now. I mean, he's just getting spin cycled left and right. So this is a huge. I love this move. I don't care that he is injured. We need this to get his confidence back up, to get the O line back healthy. I think this is calculated. I think this is planned. I think he's going to at least miss 2 weeks, because the way that we have started, the O line has not helped him at all, and it's made everything look a little bit worse. We've seen some highs from JJ, we've seen the lows, and a little bit in between. I think we need to reset the O line, let Carson Wentz kind of take over a little bit, because I think he will have some success with this offense. I don't know how much success, but I think it's going to help. For sure that Carson Wentz is in the game for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let JJ McCarthy get healthy. Let the O line sync together, and let KOC. This is not being talked about enough, but let KOC get in a groove with the play calling again, because it has not
Right.
been on track, and I think it's because he's been kind of babying JJ McCarthy in a sense. So I think he just needs to get back on his old
Right.
style of
Right.
play calling. Let the offense get better and execute and actually get in a rhythm, because it's been awful to watch the team just not getting a rhythm offensively, and that's not all to blame on JJ McCarthy. Of course, it's the easy
Yeah.
thing to do, but yeah, I think we ride out with Carson Wentz a couple weeks. Let's do that. I think we'll be okay. It's a
You don't
strategic.
have you don't have you don't have much of a choice, but I
No,
love the way you're wording it. Um,
it
let's
all
not
makes
forget
sense.
here. Let's not forget here. This is a Super Bowl champion that's taking over the helm there in Minnesota. Let's not forget that. Let's not discredit this Super Bowl champion in Carson Wentz. All right, JB, also a second round pick in the NFL. So the guy's potential is through the roof. He just has to show it out just one more time. Maybe it didn't work in the last 6 teams. Maybe it didn't work, but that's okay. Who said it's not going to work in Minnesota? Not with one of the greatest OCs in the game, and not with one of the best defensive coordinators in the game who's going to give you extra possessions. JB, if I'm the Vikings, I'm so optimistic, at least until week 3, right? At least let's get into Sunday, and then by the end of the first
Yeah.
quarter, I think we'll know how the next couple weeks will go.
Yep.
But going into Sunday, I'm thinking in my head, if I was you, while I'm putting on my Jay Jetta jersey, I'm thinking I have a Super Bowl champion that's trotting out that team this weekend. Okay? I have a former number 2 pick, North Dakota State alum, coming, leading the helm. Come on. Come on,
Season's not
JB.
over yet.
We don't
Season's
gotta
not
be
over
sad
yet,
about it.
baby. Yep. Write it out. Got to write it out with Carson
Write it
Wentz.
out. What's the point of being upset, JB? If you're gonna be upset, just root for somebody else,
Yeah.
because there's no room
Got
for
to be
that on
optimistic.
SOL. Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
it's JJ's second start. He got hurt. This is a great. I think if everybody was healthy on that offense, I think he starts this week. I honestly think JJ would start, but it's not the case. And it's an easy way to say, okay, he's overwhelmed right now. He's taking a lot of hits. Let's get the O-line healthy. Darius Hall will be back in 2 to 3 weeks. Ryan Kelly will be back. He might miss this week. There's a reason why they're sitting out. It's a bigger reason than just a high ankle sprain. 100%. It's just not going to be told to the media like that. I guarantee you. I promise you with everything. Because at first I was like, man, this guy's going to be injury prone, bro. This and that. You take a deeper look into it. I think it's smart by the coaching staff. It's smart to sit him out and make sure he's 100% healthy. Do not rush him back in. Right now, it's going to be a battle of the backup quarterbacks right now against Cincinnati. So it's a very winnable game. As long as we can get the offense moving, I think everybody needs to settle down. The offensive line needs to gel, and I think we'll be okay after that. Once Darius Hall comes back, okay, then throw JJ out. You're gonna see. Watch the week that JJ McCarthy comes back is that Darius Hall comes back as well.
Okay.
Actually, Darius Hall might come back a week before, and then let Darius Hall get some reps in, play a full game. Okay, the next game we see JJ out there again.
All
Call it
right,
now.
we're gonna put a bookmark on that one.
Clip it.
JB is saying this is a strategic move, putting JJ McCarthy on the sideline because it's the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's the bigger picture. That's what we're
He's
riding with. We have
overwhelmed
a
right
Super
now.
Bowl champion.
This is probably we talk about all year. Oh, a great position for a quarterback to come in. Right now, it's not. Right now, this is the worst spot. I mean, literally, this offense is the worst in football right now. 7 out of 8 quarters. This offense is literally the worst team in football right now, offensively. So yes, I think it's a great move. Even though he is injured, let him sit out a couple weeks. Let him regain his focus, his mentality. That offensive line needs to get better. The play calling needs to get better. The execution overall with that entire offense has to get better.
Yep.
It's not 100% on JJ McCarthy. I'll say that now.
All right, I'll take your word for that, at least until this weekend. JB, speaking of quarterbacks, how do you feel about CJ Stroud's warm up here before games? Let's take a look. Filthy.
I mean,
Filthy, Borba.
he must have the greatest 3 ball of all time. I mean, the way that he's warming up right there. I like it. Get the shoulder involved a little bit, the upper body, the legs.
So this is at Boston Connor. He says I'm a big CJ Strong guy or CJ Stroud guy. This basketball warm up gimmick sucks. The critics is starting to come. Of course, this is what happens when if you don't win, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start to get critiqued for just about everything that you do. So it's gonna start. It seems like it's gonna start getting a little loud for CJ Stroud if they don't start putting it together over there. But
Yeah.
another team without a quarterback is the 49ers. Mac Jones coming into play went 26 for 39, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. The most important thing is no interception. And for us, Christian McCaffrey fantasy owners, over 100 scrimmage yards. Come on. And a touchdown, Borba. My boy was cooking, making me excited about why I drafted him in the first round. But JB, any takeaways from that 49ers Saints game? Are you confident that Mac Jones can win them a couple more games, waiting for Brock Purdy to come back, who's expected to be out 2 to 4 weeks? What's your reaction on that game?
I think so. I think if Mac Jones can just be a game manager, he's got the scheme. They don't have the most playmakers right now. It's a lot going on McCaffrey's shoulders right now, offensively without George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. Still, we don't know when that guy's going to come back. So you still got Ricky Pearsall who's making some plays, putting up decent numbers. So he's just got to be a game manager. The defense, I'm a little concerned about the defense because when you got Spencer Rattler having a career game almost against that 49er defense, okay, then there's a little bit of concern here. So maybe it's just the way that the game played out. I don't know, but Spencer Rattler had a really good game. If they can just go, they're 2-0 right now. That's a great start. If they can go 500 the next 4 weeks till Brock Purdy comes back, I think you're loving it right now in San Francisco. You got to love that. Just be a game manager. And Mac Jones, I mean, we've seen awful Mac Jones. We've seen good Mac Jones. If he can just ride the course, I know
Mac
Kyle
Jones.
Shanahan's not going to put too much on him. I think he'll be okay. And depending on these matchups in the next upcoming weeks, 500.
Well, let
I
me
think
tell you.
you're
Let
in
me
a good
tell you. Let me
position.
tell you the matchups, JB. Since you asked, let me tell you. You
Yeah,
got the Cardinals this weekend
winnable,
in Arizona.
winnable.
Jaguars, Rams, and Bucks. Those are probably the 4 games we're going to see Mac
Ooh,
Jones playing
yeah, Rams and
before
Bucks.
Brock Purdy.
That might be a little tough. Rams and Bucks might be a little tough, but I think you can go possibly 4-0. You could start the season
Yeah,
off 4-0, maybe drop one to the Rams, and then okay, let's get Brock
4-2.
Purdy comes back against the Bucks.
I think we're hoping for a 4-2. If out of these next 4 game stretch, I think you're hoping to go 2-2 and kind of go
Realistically, yeah,
4-2
hypothetically,
going into Atlanta against the Falcons. That would be ideal, right? If you're a
yeah,
49ers fan, that would be the
very
perfect
ideal,
situation.
very ideal, very
Well,
ideal. I think they can do it.
shout out Niners sneaking in another W. I like the drama. Give me Mac Jones. Let's cook Mac Jones. Why not? Go off. The fact that they allowed him to throw 39 times kind of tells
Hey,
me Shanahan sees something.
yeah,
Tells me Shanahan sees something. I like it. Let's
he didn't have to do too
let's
much.
spice it up, Mac Jones. Let's get the NFL a little spice, a little quarterback controversy. Why not? Why not? They just played. They
Yeah,
just paid Brock Purdy. But if Mac Jones plays well, what do? You ride the hot hand. That's a nice little nugget to think about these next couple weeks, especially this Sunday if he starts to cook against Arizona, a division rival. And speaking of rivals, you got the former Super Bowl matchup where the Eagles beat the Chiefs, and they did it again, 20-17. Eagles when they dropped the Chiefs for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career. He's 0-2. This is behind his Saquon Barkley, who rushed for 88 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Hurts always adding a rushing touchdown to his stat. And Patrick Mahomes, man, that drop by Travis Kelce, you can't blame that on Mahomes, right? Travis Kelsey's got to catch that, get in there for a touchdown. I mean, that, JB, I hate to keep saying this, but I'm going to say this all year. Sometimes you just got to get a little lucky. Sometimes you got to get a little lucky. And that's exactly what you're going to see in the playoffs. It doesn't matter how great you are, how good you are. Sometimes the best team doesn't win in the National Football League because it comes down to one game. One game is all that matters. And if you woke up a little sick, your tummy hurt just a little bit, you and your girl fought the night before, or something tragic happened, anything, JB, anything that can distract you from the game at hand, sometimes you just got to get a little lucky. And in this situation, the luck was on Philadelphia's side yet again. There's a controversy about the tush push. Bandit, 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 bandit. That's all I hear on TV. That's all I hear on TV. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm like, shut your mouth. You just can't stop it. That's your team's fault, not mine. But also, when you're on the other side of that, it's like, come on, all these guys, like, this is bullshit. You could call a false start. I saw that there was a couple situations where they could have called the false start. I'm thinking you got to start doing it. I think the only way to stop it, and this is ugly, is as soon as Jalen leans, like I feel like you just got to start ripping at his ribs. And not necessarily, my bad. Let me take that back. You got to start ripping at the ball, and whatever you hit, you hit. That's my thing. You have to scare them from running that play. It has to become a play that increases the level of injury for Jalen Hurts, not anybody else, specifically Jalen Hurts. And I think the only way you do that is you just got to start clubbing. It's messed up, but I mean, what else do you do, JB?
You just gotta take it, man. You just gotta be
Those are
better.
stuff.
You just can't be in 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 situations with the Eagles. I mean, honestly, you just can't. So I think that's I don't know how else to combat it.
Are you team Bannett or no?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, I am because I don't want him doing it on my team. Jeez, like it's impossible to stop. But right now, it's fair. Like they just run it good. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's the reality of it. They execute it good. They can just convert. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to stop it. I really don't. But
Yeah,
kind of talking about that game, the you know I think when you go into that game, Chiefs fans, they just didn't want to get blown out again. I think that was a big thing. Like let's see if we can win. I'm sure they hoped that I'm sure they thought they were going to win, but to lose the game essentially because Travis Kelsey just didn't haul that in. I mean, if he hauls that in, we might be talking about a Chiefs victory. And that stat comes into play again. There's only been 3 teams to make it to the Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era that have started off 0-2. But this time you got Mahomes. You got Mahomes on the team. Now, do I think they make the Super Bowl? No, that's not my pick this year. I don't think the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl, but they're still going to be playoff contenders, 100%. You just look in the Chiefs and you're just like, who's going to be the guy that's going to make a play for us? That's what's killing them right now. And when Mahomes has almost 100 yards on the ground and he's just extending plays, like he's literally carrying that offense in a way that we've never seen it before, which I don't think is the best recipe for success. Obviously, you got to have a couple playmakers in there, and that's why I'm still high on that Tyreek Hill trade. I think it might happen, especially what's going on in Miami. I think that is totally on the board right now for the Chiefs. So, yeah, they're 0-2, a little bit of panic, but I think you start getting a few wins. I think this team is still a legit playoff contender. The Eagles are just, after we've seen it first 2 weeks of football, the Eagles are still Super Bowl favorites. You got to go Super Bowl favorites. Of course, you got the Packers in the background. The AFC's got their own 3 or 4 team powerhouses over there, but 2 or 3 teams right now. But hey, the first 2 weeks, you got to
bro.
give it to the Eagles.
I can't even criticize the Eagles because at the end of the day, like in their defense to anything, it's just we figure out how to win.
Yeah, we know how to win.
We just figure out how to win. And right now, that's all I can think about when I think of the Eagles is we just know how to win. Like eat that. What do you want me to say, right?
Yep.
I don't
That's
think
what it
there's
is.
there's any trash talk you can give an Eagles fan. Sure, we could be like, oh, they have Jalen Hurts, but you got to remember that's a Super Bowl champ and potentially Super Bowl MVP or was in Super Bowl MVP. The Jalen Hurts, it's Eagles. They just know how to win.
Yep.
They just know how to win. Why am I so tongue tied when I talk about them, Borba? And you can hear the tremble in my voice. This team, this team has put me through it, and I just criticized Jalen Hurts for no reason, just to get it thrown back in my face. I apologize, Jalen. I apologize, JB. But you want to know who makes me happy? There's this wonderful 1-7, this beautiful 17, this wonderful kicker. And you may ask, who is Brandon Aubrey? He's a former soccer player turned NFL superstar. And maybe you might think I'm being a little dramatic about calling him a superstar, Borba. But let's get to know this man who's a phenom in Dallas. You know, this guy not only ties games if you need him to from the 50, right? This guy will win you a game past the 50, Borba. This guy's leg, this guy's leg, I mean, it looks like a horse leg, Borba. This guy is a stallion. Let's get to know Brandon Aubrey a little bit here. So Brandon Aubrey was a former soccer player who went to Notre Dame and then was drafted by the MLS Toronto FC. You ever seen them play, Borba?
Can't say I have.
It's all right. Well, what a dog. It's an MLS pro team. I'm assuming you don't watch the MLS. That hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
I try to tune in when I can. Shout out Leo Messi. But I mean, he wasn't the greatest soccer player from at least from what I read. But he did make he did do that for a living. He
Yeah.
did get paid for it. But outside of sports, JB, outside of soccer, whenever he left soccer, you want to know what this man did, JB?
What do you do?
This dude was a software engineer for fun. For fun, Borba. That the noggin on that dude, the
Yeah.
brains, Borba. Not just a regular software engineer. Software engineer from Notre Dame. Shout out the Catholics out there at Notre Dame, an independent school who kind of runs the show in the. I need to chill out. I don't know about runs the show in college football, but this guy. So what happened was he was chilling on his
Yeah,
couch.
they
Is
did
what
just
I'm
lose.
assuming, right? He was just chilling on his couch, JB. He was sipping on some coffee, hanging out with his wife, and his wife supposedly, allegedly, his wife was like, they're watching a football game, watching people kick. They're probably watching the college football morning show with Pat McAfee when they kicked the kicks for $100,000. They're probably watching that, and they saw a couple shanks, and his wife was like, "Hey, honey, look at that thick old leg on you. I think you could do that, huh?" And Brandon Aubrey's just chilling. He's just chilling, sipping on some coffee. And he's like, "Yeah, you think so?" She's like, let's go down to local high school real quick, kick a couple balls." Well, brother lined it up from 65, smashed it right through, JB.
Nailed it.
Both looked in each other's eyes, madly in love, and go, "I think I could do this thing." You know what happens after that, JB?
Tries out.
Well, he goes to the USFL.
Oh,
The United States Football League, if you remember, which is now known as the XFL, which is ran by The Rock, but he
yep.
played for the Birmingham Stallions. And maybe it's ironic that he's a stallion himself. But then he went to the Dallas Cowboys in 2023. And now we know him for what he is, this phenom of a kicker. This man got married, JB, in 2019, had a kid in 2024. You want to know what's crazy is this dude has a children's book out. Children's book is called One Dream in Front of the Other. Based on his career, wrote it for his kid. Aw, that's when you go, aw.
Uh,
Aw. Wrote the book for his kid based on his career about not giving up once one door is closed on a dream, you open up another and you chase another dream. And you buy in. JB, Brandon Aubrey, what a talent. Seems like a great dude off the field and hits game winners. As a kicker, as a former soccer player, I love this. I love this. I hope Brandon Arby continues to have success. And you want to know what, JB? I'm praying just a little bit that this is our Adam Vinatieri. Is that an okay
gotta be.
dream to have?
No, I think it's realistic. I think right now he's the best kicker in football, 100%. Can't go wrong with it. He's going to win you games. I mean, he could have made that kick. He could have made that kick from over 70. His range is about 70 to 71, 72 is what they
Yeah,
were
it seems
saying.
like.
So he had room to spare on that 65-yarder is what it was, something like that.
Yeah, yep.
He had room to spare on it. I mean, can't hate on that. Dude can kick.
You want to know
Dude can kick.
you know what's crazy, JB, is he went on the McAfee show last night or yesterday afternoon, and he's talking about his form. His mechanics quite are he doesn't have like your traditional mechanics, and he says sometimes he still kind of goes back to his the way you kick, because the way you kick in soccer is slightly different than what you kick a football, right? Um, so he talks about how his mechanics sometimes he reverts back to his soccer style, and that's still happening now. So what's crazy is that we still don't like bro's just out there having fun and he's slinging it without like the perfect mechanics, which makes the story even more interesting. Um, Shout out Brandon Aubrey, game winner. As a Cowboys fan, like I said, I'm excited. It's good to have. It's nice to know you have someone that you just need to get to the 50-yard line, and they will more than likely smash it through. But JB, let's move on. Uh, let's talk about a couple of our fantasy folks here. JB, I won. I'm 2-0 in my fantasy league. My dynasty league, I'm 1-1. I got my first win here in week 2. Shout out Dak for putting on a hell of a performance. Jared Goff led the board on for PPR leagues. Let me pull up this graphic for you real quick, JB. Here's what we're looking at. So Jared Goff led uh, obviously versus Chicago Bears win 52-21. He went 23 for 28 passing, 334 yards. That put him on top of the board with 34 points in your this one says standard scoring, but that's the PPF. That's my fault there. Second was Amar St. Brown with 9 receptions, 115 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. A little bit of rushing from the backfield, hit us with 42 fantasy points. That's the
Dang.
PPR.
He went
And then
off.
Malik Neighbors obviously cooked the boys with 9
Cooked.
catches, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. That
Cooked.
gave us 40 fantasy points. Go ahead, JB. I'm sorry. Am I cutting you off?
Oh, no. I just said cooked. Yeah, just absolutely cooked. Him and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, Jamar Chase going 14,
I got both of them
165,
in 2
1
different
touchdown.
leagues.
Gosh, bro.
You could say I had a very good week in fantasy. Cheech knows about that. Gave him the little, the 1-2 step real quick. So I'm 2-0 in our league with the
Oh,
boys.
sure, actually.
And I'm 2-0 in another league. Honestly, all my leagues are really good. I'm only 1-1 at the Power Block League, Alton's Power Block League. I'm 1-1. So
Shout out.
came
Shout
up a
out.
little bit short, but I lost to Youngblood, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Derrick Henry gave me 2 points. Justin Fields got me 3. Justin Fields will never see my starting lineup again. So we got that taken care of early in the year. So glad we can do that. But for the most part, man, we had a couple other big performances. Jonathan Taylor, really good game for Indy.
JT.
Out of the backfield, man, he balled out. He balled out. James Cook kill, killed killed New York's defense. The Jets killed their
Oh,
defense, man.
yes.
He got a good game. Of course, Bijan. I mean, we saw it on Sunday night against Minnesota. He freaking balled out, man. Bijan's a crazy good runner. It's scary. Him and Jahmyr Gibbs are literally the future. Like those guys are different out of the backfield, man. They're crazy, electrifying. Can bust one anytime. But
It's like
they're solid. Good.
a hybrid. It's like a hybrid running back. It's like a
Yeah,
combination of a
crazy.
tight end, wide receiver, just thick but so fast and elusive. It's
Yeah,
actually beautiful to watch. Some of the tackles that these guys break, bro. Oh my! The one
yeah, it's
that
crazy.
Cook broke for his touchdown was just
Yeah,
bouncing off people,
yeah.
and he's not even that big at that, which is
No,
like Jamar Gibbs. That's a thick boy, but also
fast,
so elusive, so
fast,
elusive.
really fast. Yeah,
Who do
and
you
then
who do you out of those 3 guys or out of those 2 guys with Jamar Gibbs and, Bijan? I know in a lot of fantasy leagues, they obviously probably went 1 and 2 or at least 1 and 3. Where would you stack them up against each other? I mean, you
oh
can't go
man,
wrong with either one, but yeah,
I
gun to
think
head, what are we picking here?
I think running back wise, like I'm handing the ball off. I got to go Bijan now as a more. I mean, they use him in the passing game a lot too, but I just think Jahmyr Gibbs in the passing game is just a little bit better. But as a runner, Bijan, the way that he moves, the way that he cuts, it's really hard to go against. But as your 3 down back, a guy that's going to carry the team, I think Bijan is that guy. Jahmyr Gibbs is right behind him, though. Like you can't. It's a good argument, but I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs' speed is crazy. When he
Yeah,
breaks it to the second level, you're not going to catch him. You're not going to catch him. That's the thing with Jahmyr Gibbs. Very elusive still. I really get out the backfield. I think I would take Gibbs a little bit more out of the backfield than Bijan. But as far as running back wise, like hand the ball off to the guy, I'm going to give it to Bijan right now for sure.
Bijan for sure.
Yep.
Hell yeah. A couple snoozers. You shouted out Derrick Henry. The trolls are starting to come out on Instagram. If you see
Oh
here,
man.
Jalen or dang, my bad. AJ Brown. Yo, I almost choked on my own spit there. What's going on?
That's early. Need some water. Need to get
Yeah,
hydrated.
my fault there. So let me pull this back up. AJ Brown's getting hit with the trolls on Instagram. So week 1 goes to 1.3 fantasy, and then
Yeah,
week 2 5.2 fantasy. If you're a
this is
fantasy
common though.
owner of AJ Brown, it's a little tough of a world. So JB, let me ask you, with the tough 2 weeks, are you giving up on AJ Brown as a fantasy owner, or
Oh
this is
man,
one of those situations where you got to grind it out a
here's
little?
here's the thing, like, and this happened last year too. I mean, people were complaining, and they weren't necessarily like as dominant as they were right now in this, so far to start the year. But the same thing
Yeah.
was happening, and it's the same thing with Devontae Smith. I don't draft quarterback. I'm giving away my no. You know what? I'm not. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a secret. But I just don't. I don't trust wide receivers
What?
like this with a
You do a
quarterback like
daily
Jalen Hurts
show.
in that scheme. I don't trust quarterback. I don't trust it. You know what's funny? I had a league where I was the fourth pick, and the guy with the third pick overall picked AJ Brown, and
Hey, hold on.
I was just
JB, we
like,
got a caller. We got
yes.
a caller. We got a caller. Let's
Oh,
pause that real
okay,
quick.
okay.
Sorry. Speaking out loud. What's your name and what would you like to talk about? Cheech, what's happening, brother?
Yeah, you didn't have to call me out like that. I name. Anyways, Steelers, we're screwed. Rodgers is a statue. Defensive like shit. We don't even know how people can field the damn kickoff anymore. We might be cooked. All the Super Bowl talk is too much. Here we go. 9-8. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, Cheech. All right. I love it. Thank you for
He
calling,
just
Cheech.
give it up.
Appreciate you. JB, 9-8 is what he said. The Super Bowl chatter was just too much. Aaron Rodgers coming over to Pittsburgh, he's saying was a fugazi. It doesn't matter. 9-8 season. We're just gonna have another hoopla of Mike Tomlin not having a
He's gonna have another
losing
winning
record.
record. That's all they're playing
Yeah.
for is a winning record. Yeah. Well,
Would
I don't
you
know.
agree with Cheech,
Here's
or are
my
we
thing.
telling Cheech to calm down?
Yeah, here's my thing. I think the biggest concern
Yeah.
right now is that defense in Pittsburgh. It's not what we're used to seeing right now. So I think if the defense can tighten up and just if Aaron Rodgers can play good, and they really don't have a running game right now, so that's another big concern. So you got to get a running game. I don't know where that's going to come from. Warren, he's a good back, but he's kind of like more of like a scat back type. He's not going to carry the load on first, second, third down, be like a reliable, consistent running back. So where do you get that from? Do you get that out of Keldon Johnson, who just fumbled away the game last week in special teams? Where do you get the running game from? So that's a little bit of my concern. And then the defense. The defense is not looking how it has looked in the past, or where it's kind of carried this team. So, yeah, 9-8 does look like a real possibility. Because it seems like they're playing for a winning record now for Mike Tomlin's kind of career, for his legacy,
Yeah.
instead of trying to make a real Super Bowl push. So they got to fix that defense. That's my main concern. And then the running game, defense, then running game, and then then you guys become more of a playoff threat for sure.
Yeah, JB, I think we're overreacting a little, and it's not overreaction money. That was yesterday, but I'm assuming I don't know if Cheech was being serious there, or if he confused his days, thinking that, hey, you know what, it's Monday, I can overreact, and I won't be held accountable for what I just said. But are we? Is Seattle good? Let me ask you that first. Do you think Seattle is actually good, or you think that was just a terrible loss for the Steelers? Let's
I
start. Let's
think
start with that question real quick.
it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both because Seattle did have control for most of that game, and they went up by 2 touchdowns after that
Yeah.
mistake. I think so.
Not just mistake, JB.
Huge
That
mistake.
might have that's
I
honestly
mean
what
that.
probably cost them the game. Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers probably trots out there after that and probably takes the lead. And that's why I think it's an overreaction, because that was so deflating. When that happened, has Buddy been cut? I'm not sure. That's
no.
probably something we should look at. But rookie player making a rookie mistake, putting his team in a tough situation. I think that completely deflated them. That ruined the game for them. Took momentum out of their hands. That team,
Yeah.
the Steelers were probably going to drive down. I'm going to go. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that Aaron Rodgers was going to lead them down. and put Sam Darnold in a bit of a pincher to lead his team down the field and go score. If that's the
Sam Darnold
situation, if
shut
you were
up.
to play that scenario out for me, I'm telling you, I'm thinking the Steelers are easily going to win that game. There's no way Sam Darnold trots down and wins that game. With that being said, JB, if I look at this Steelers schedule, Cheech, I'm saying pump the brakes. Hold up. Hold on. Chill out just a little bit. Let's look at the schedule. Who they got playing this week, JB? Oh, they're going over to New England. We don't know what New England is. It seems like they have a good defense. They're led by a hell of a coach, but that's a possible win. Oh, right after that, what? We're playing Minnesota at home though. Minnesota at home
That's
without their
overseas.
starting quarterback,
That's
possibly
overseas.
playing Carson Wentz. I'm thinking dub maybe. Then you go over to Cleveland. We don't know what Cleveland is. Is Deshaun Watson going to come back somehow and save them? I don't know. They don't even know what they're doing. They need to move on past Joe Flacco, and if they don't, I see that as another W. And then guess what? They're going to head over to Cincinnati and play the Bengals. To me, that's another win. That's another win for them. So I think we're and then they go over to Green Bay and now we got to pause. But right now we could be sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-1 record, or at 3-2 at best going into Green Bay. 9-8 season. I think we need to chill out, especially with the injuries in that division. It's between them and the Ravens. And all you got to do is sneak into the dance. I think we got to hold the panic button on this Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's chill out. Let's give it one more week. Let's give it till this Sunday. Let's give it till that matchup against the Patriots, and then we'll start overreacting on them. Yeah, the defense looks a little sluggish. Why are we giving up 31 points? That's a good question. But one thing we know is that they do have the talent on that defensive side. So all they got to do is put it together. We got to remember this group. These are vets that are coming together and slowly getting to know each other. We're not really going to see the benefits of that until probably around week 4, week 5, week 6, JB. So let's chill out. Cheech, let's just chill out just a little bit. You want to add anything to that, JB?
I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I think it's a little too early to overreact because now what's happened to Cincinnati, they're going to be scrambling. Cleveland doesn't look like a real threat this year. So right now you're
Another
playing.
caller. Another
Oh,
caller.
oh shoot.
Another
Okay.
caller.
But I
Should
do
we hit the
agree.
line?
Yeah.
Let's hit the line. Welcome to Speaking Out Loud. What's your name and what would you like to talk about?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's Santiago.
Santi,
Avid Raiders fan. Just want to talk about the game last night.
Oh, what happened?
Gino was terrible. 3 picks. Defense needs to save us. Max Crosby's a beast, but we got no help on offense coming. We need to get Gino out of there. Might be overreaction Tuesday for me, but I need you to see a different quarterback.
Oh,
I have to talk
no.
about.
Thank you for calling us, Santi. I appreciate you, brother. Let's have a hell of a day. JB, he wants Geno Smith out already. It is overreaction for Raider
After his
fans. They
head.
didn't get to do it yesterday, so we're gonna
Yep.
give him the pass here on a Tuesday. But let's end the show with this, JB. Santiago just said, get Geno out of town. Those 3 interceptions is just
Yeah.
not good enough for me. If Geno, hypothetically speaking, if we move, they're not going to move on from Geno because he did sign a 3-year contract. But let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if you get Geno out of town, what would be the next option?
That's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing right now. I think in Las Vegas, Gino right now, he's a bridge quarterback for somebody to come along in the future right now. You're going to get your ups and downs. You're going to get these crazy overreactions. And then next week, hey, he might throw for 3 touchdowns, no picks. And you guys get the dub, So I think it's a little bit of an overreaction right now for sure. But yeah, I'd be upset too. I mean, he's got every right to be upset. But I think this is what, I hate to say it, but this is going to be the Raiders season. You're going to have some ups. You're going to have some downs. He's still getting comfortable in that offense. So it's a little bit of an overreaction. I think it's more on the Chargers defense, than it is on Geno Smith fully feeling comfortable yet in the offense. They still got their weapons. I can't write them off yet. They still got a chance to make the dance. That's all I'm saying. Don't write Geno off. He's a baller.
I hate you. Santi, another one. Let's relax. Let's relax just a little bit. Let's give Buddy one more week to think about, especially because they potentially be going up against a Commanders team without Jaden Daniel, so they could possibly sneak out the win. And guess what, JB? They have the
O-line was
Chicago
bad.
Bears right after that. That's another possible win. I think you're right. I'm going to agree with you there. It's going to be one of those seasons for the Raiders where it's like one week it's like, here we
Here's the
go,
thing.
baby.
Here's
The
the thing,
Raiders are
Santi.
back.
This is my thing. I think this year you have meaningful games in December. That's all I'm going to say. So you got to ride the ups and the downs. I think you're going to have meaningful games in December where you guys can still make the playoffs. I'll say that.
He did say O-line is terrible. Yeah,
Yeah.
that did look pretty rough. So it's not too promising. Maybe it's save Gino. Maybe it's pray for Gino, not bench Gino. Maybe pray for him, huh? But let's end it like this, JB. Nate, see you in the comments. Appreciate you. It says, like Roger said, you got to ride the highs and you got to ride the lows. And JB, that is exactly what you have to do. Yesterday, I posted a little Victory Monday on my TikTok, and I got a couple comments that said, yo, chill out. It was against the Giants. Hey, guys, we got to ride the highs and we got to ride the lows. But when you're riding the high, let's enjoy it, baby, just like we should enjoy this day. I appreciate you guys joining us. I see you guys in the comments section. Much love, man. Let's have a hell of a day. Be a friend. Tell us a friend something nice. It might change their life. And I mean that, man. I love you guys. And let's ride.